Lord Jesus, we approach your throne this evening with confidence that you are able to do for us that which we are unable to do. We come to you and we commit this program into your hands, and we ask, Father God, that you will undertake for every one of the people hosting this program. You will speak through them. You will increase their wisdom. Lord, I ask that as they bring themselves together for the matters of community on Sports Wrap, that every single subject that is discussed will bring honor and glory to you. Lord, I ask today that you will ensure that the listenership, Father God, will be enhanced, and that the community will be better off as they do this program together. Bless every contributor and cause every listener, Father God, to be elevated. And every person who calls, every one of them, Father, who sit as the host and co-host of this program, that you will elevate their thinking. And as they speak, Father God, people will be more enlightened. And we will be mindful to give you the thanks and praise and glory and honor. In Jesus' name, amen.
Good night, good night. Good night to everybody. Welcome once again to another Sport Track program. Tonight, I'm Ron Lander. I'm on together with Dr. Thompson Fontaine and Emmanuel Loblack. Unfortunately, Lockhart Sebastian is out of state and he will not be on tonight. We've got a very packed schedule for you tonight. We've got football with Eddie Lawrence. There's going to be an international friendly taking place in Dominica tonight and on Sunday. There's also a lot of basketball taking place. The basketball, first of all, the Creole Cup competition will be coming on later in this month. It's a very interesting competition between all stars from Guadeloupe, Martinique, Benin, and Dominica. And also, we've got the semifinals, the DBA Elias Dupuy Memorial Knockout Cup semifinals coming up. Donnie Robinson will be talking to us about that. And thereafter, we've got a lot of cricket to talk about. The West Indies team selection for the 50-over series against Ireland and England. Also, there is a system going on now for selecting a captain, a test captain. The West Indies youth tournament, or they call it Blaze, a new tournament that they have going on with the youngsters to see the young talent that is coming to an end, and Windward Islands is in the semifinals. So we also want to look at that. Also, there may be other international activities, football or basketball. When Donnie Robertson comes on, we'll also talk about the NBA. So there are other activities we want to talk about. Again, tonight is unfortunate that we don't have the half an hour to speak about current issues, because Eddie Lawrence is going to come on at 6:15. We have to accommodate him very early because the match starts at 7 o'clock tonight. The match the friendly between Dominica and Barbados. So we've got to accommodate him very, very early tonight. And then we go across to Donnie Robinson, and then we speak about cricket. But in between, there are a lot of international sporting events taking place that Dr. Fontaine and Mr. Loblack may want to talk about. Now we move to a very special feature with Xavier Foster. Seigneur, c'est pas grâce. Seigneur, c'est pas grâce.
Amen.
C'est pas grâce. Seigneur, pour sauver moi. C'est pas grâce. Seigneur, c'est pas grâce. C'est pas grâce. Seigneur, c'est pas grâce. C'est pas grâce. Seigneur, c'est pas grâce. C'est pas grâce. Seigneur, pour sauver moi. Oh oui, c'est pas grâce. Seigneur, c'est pas grâce. Après ça, moi ça chanter. Alléluia. Après ça, moi ça chanter. Alléluia. Après ça, moi ça chanter. Alléluia. C'est pas grâce. Seigneur, c'est pas grâce. Après ça, moi ça louer. Alléluia. Après ça, moi ça louer. Alléluia. Oh oui. Après ça, moi ça louer. Alléluia. C'est pas grâce. Seigneur, c'est pas grâce. Après ça, moi ça prie. Alléluia. Après ça, moi ça prie. Alléluia. Après ça, moi ça prie. Alléluia. C'est pas grâce. Seigneur, c'est pas grâce. C'est pas grâce. Seigneur. Okay, Xavier Foster was a very powerful artist. He was also a very good preacher. And tonight, as we did the last time, we started for prayer and we start with some advocation and recognizing the importance of Jehovah God, asking Him to come among us, to assist us and to guide us in whatever we say, whatever we contribute, and also the contributors to the program, whatever they say, can be wholesome, that listeners can be enlightened and appreciative of whatever we're doing here. I invite Dr. Fountain to speak about some international football now.
Oh yes, Ron. Indeed, I'm sure, and of course, Manu. I'm sure you were looking on last night, or was it 2 nights ago, when the UEFA Champions League finals was decided. Of course, PSG took on Arsenal, that is Paris Saint-Germain, and they were able to defeat them 2-1. And at the same time, Inter Milan knocked out Barcelona. Quite a fascinating thing. So that the two teams, PSG and Inter Milan, they are going through to the finals on May 31st. Now, most people believe, even going into this tournament, that it would be certainly be PSG, it would be Arsenal and Barcelona finals. That was what most people believe, but that was not to be. And the new style that the UEFA adopted, Emmanuel, I thought was really good, because if you can recall, PSG were number 16 in the first round, where each team is against each other. So they were number 16, and now they're vying for the championship. In the ordinary format they had before, they would never have been able to make it through, and they've only been to the finals once before in 2020, and they're back there again because of this new format.
Yeah. Yes, Dr. Fontaine and listeners, before I even answer you, I just want to say hello to St. Heavy Shillingford, Ozil Lewis, and Yes, Dodal and Dodal also, and Clem John. Yes, Dr. Fountain, not just the that you have Inter Milan and you have PSG. But first of all, the first game, Inter Milan and Barcelona. What I appreciate is that was the attack from both sides. There's nothing defensive. Both sides, both teams went at it. Both teams, and I think Inter Milan, they really surprised everyone here the way they played. But they look also fitter. They look very fit, especially in that second game. They look very, very fit. And I mean, they look to defeat a team like Barcelona, you had to be that fitness came in very, very handy in that extra time. And also that PSG. But for PSG, what that really helped PSG was their goalkeeping. Their goalkeeper, he was outstanding, Dr. Fountain.
Yes, indeed.
That look, yesterday's game. I mean, look, Arsenal could have gone up 3-0 early in the, but this guy made some fantastic saves throughout the game. And again, you're going to have Inter and PSG. And anything, though I'm going to say, look, the pundits are favored Inter, but anything can happen on that day, on the final. All right. Also, I think we have to look at, we're not discussing, on this program much tennis. There's a lot of tennis taking place, and we have to include tennis. All right. A lot of tennis taking place. All right. And we're not discussing tennis enough on this, on Sports Wrap.
Well, we'll try to create room for tennis, but given the limited time, we try to focus on a lot of local activity. But definitely, we'll try to create time for tennis. And I also need you to recognize, Mr. Loblack, what you did up front. You identify some of our fans who have been with us for a long time. We need to reinstate that into the program. It's very, very, very important that we recognize those fans. And I'm very happy that you did it tonight. And I trust that in the future, we can do it in turns, 2-3 minutes, to recognize the persons who've been with us for an extended period of time. But definitely, Emmanuel Loblack, we'll see how we'll incorporate some tennis into this program. Unfortunately, we don't have any tennis in Dominica. If you see the state now of the court on High Street, the state of the court on High Street, the Chinese started something. I understood they had funding. And if you see the state of the place now, it's unbelievable. But definitely we'll find some place for tennis.
Well, I have said already what I saw when I was in Dominica. I believe it's either a parking lot or a sewer ground.
Yes, indeed. Hey guys, and then I know we're talking, generally now as we wait to talk to Ebby about the big game tonight. Also the Premier League, the English Premier League has been decided, huh?
Yes, for a long time this way, long time.
Liverpool are the champions. You remember when we had said about Liverpool, some of our callers called to chastise us, so how we can talk about Liverpool so early. That was probably in a very, very close. I don't think 10 games have been played as yet. And we talked about Liverpool possibly going through. And we got a lot of flack for that. But, at the end of the day, Liverpool are the champions and still a few games to go as well,
But Dr. Fountain, really, I mean, it was rather dismal for Arsenal this year, yeah? I feel sorry for the coach, yeah? Very, very sorry, for the coach. Last year, second, they were dying for the cup. They come back this year against a bang. Look, they're out of the Champions League. They're out. I mean, it's really, it's really hard on him here. I really don't know what happened to Arsenal. I do not know what happened to Arsenal. I really don't know. Because everybody was looking forward for Arsenal being champion this year.
Yes, are the champions either UEFA or
UEFA, yes.
Or the British Premier League, but they did not quite make it.
Yeah, they met a very stubborn PSG,
Yes.
And we have all those teams that they have quality here. Dr. Fountain, they have young players.
I'm glad for PSG, as they say right now in Paris, il y a une fête à Paris. Everybody in Paris is celebrating. The whole of France is celebrating as if it's the World Cup, because it's really a French team through and through. and you know, and the scenes of celebration that went on when they defeated Arsenal. You know, of course, it goes back to the rivalry, French against the English, and all of that, you know, history and so on given to it. So it was quite something. And then, you know, to see that, you know, the way that they played, you know, and also the way that they played, their star Mbappe left.
I
You
know,
know,
yeah, I know how you feel.
Mozart,
I know,
you know,
yeah, that again, yeah,
and
just
to think
you
that,
know,
you know, he was not there to experience that, you know.
and he's out of it. He's out of the final.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, you know, it's good. I think that's going to be a really, really great final. You know, a really, really good final indeed. We're still attempting to get to speak to Mr. Ebby Lawrence. We'll try to talk to him. So let's take a very quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk to Mr. Ebby Lawrence. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Where in Roseau, Kima Hadis, you can just walk in and order all your chicken parts, wholesale, and even enjoy retail. It's at AC Shillingford, all chicken parts available that you can afford fresh breast. And you know breast is the best. Shillingford wings have muscle. After you eat it, you can fly. As for Shillingford chicken drumsticks, even swinging stars just order drumsticks from Shillingford. And for those of you who love Risapul, AC Shillingford keeps your belly full. Buy your chicken wholesale at AC Shillingford. From wings to thighs to drums to breasts to backs to necks, it's available. It's always available and it's affordable. Plus, you've got pork feet, ham and turkey, bull foot, chicken nuggets, pepperoni, all those right seasonings to make your kitchen keep on ticking. Buy your wholesale chicken at AC Shillingford. When you think of chicken, think of AC Shillingford. Always ready.
One big what you do? Shop at SCS. Better than the rest. Shop at SCS. And they all compare. Shop at SCS. You get more for less. Shop at SCS. Shop at SCS. Yeah. Shop at SCS. Shop at SCS. Shop at SCS. SCS family, customer friendly. With relocations, it's so convenient. And our price is better than nice. Madam, that's where you belong. Oh, tell your mama, tell your papa, shop at SCS. Tell your son and your daughter, shop at SCS. Auntie, nan, and cousin, friend, open power. My grandpa, corporate labor, girlfriend, boyfriend, side. Shop at SCS. Shop at SCS. Shop at SCS. Shop at SCS. Check us out at Pottersville, High Street, and downtown Rose. Dominicans, enjoy your property, protect your property.
Yes. Tonight, we've got Ebby Lawrence with us. But before we bring him on, I would like to commend the sponsor, AC Shillingford, for sponsoring this program over an extended period of time. Good night, Mr. Julius Timothy. And I encourage listeners, patrons, to shop at ACS. ACS has a variety of products, so please give them some support. Ebby Lawrence. Welcome, Ebby Lawrence.
Good evening to the listeners of 295. Good evening to the listeners of Sports Rap. We are live in stock from right now, witnessing the warm-up of the guys and getting set for what it should be a phenomenal encounter with Barbados versus Dominica.
Very good. Can you just tell us, because I want you to give a recap of the local league, but let's focus on the game tonight. Can you just tell us anything about the Dominican team, the players on the team, the Dominican team?
Yeah, tonight basically it's just an international friendly. We know we cannot qualify for the World Cup, but nonetheless it's imperative upon us to get our players in top notch. So tonight you have Jerome Burkhardt as our goalkeeper, Brian Thomas, Eustace Marshall, Marcus Bridas, Jalen Jeanville, Nick Anthony, Corbin Paul, Savio Anselm, Odell Laville, Dante Warrington, Travis Joseph, and Dante Newton as our That's the starting 11.
Go ahead.
Yes, please go ahead. I'm not hearing you.
Any new players, or all these players are established players?
Well, there are 6 new players, but according to the list given to me by the coach, being honest with you and to the listeners, I will not be able to decipher now because I do not have my computer with me, because I'm all over the place trying to get things sorted. But I can tell you there are 6 new players, and as time progresses, if permits, I will send you the very names of the new players as was sent by the referee, but as of now, not the referee, the coach. But as of now, we have a 23-man squad, and ready and set and ready to go for Barbados. I also have Barbados' list. You would want to hear it?
Yes, very much. Yes.
We have Jairi Malcolm, Carl Hinkson, Kimani Cox, Jaden Miller, Mario Williams, and Cozy Reed, Jalen Gilks, Ricardo Morris, Ferran Hoyt, Shaquan Phillips, Raheem Agad, Corey Hoyt. This is Barbados' starting 11 for what will be an interesting encounter in the next minutes or so.
In terms of the physical structure of the Bajan team, how do they compare with us?
I am looking at the team where I sit presently, and in terms of height, in terms of body mass, it's balanced, because you would believe in Dominica's side, you would see a squad of under 17. And if you look at Barbados properly, you would think it's a squad of under 17 as well.
Okay.
All right, that's great. Ebby, so what's the expectation like for the game tonight? I mean, tell us also about the build-up of the crowd and so on. It's, the game is supposed to kick off in 30 minutes. What is it looking like in terms of the build-up?
People are in the queue getting themselves set to be seated. Most would have seen on Facebook page some tarpaulins all over the technical center. But in good faith and in love with our fans and the very many patrons, we saw it as fitting to take it off, because we cannot accommodate 1,700 persons on the seat. But nonetheless, everybody is welcome to Stockton to witness what it will be a phenomenal showcase of talent, Barbados versus Dominica. And I can attest to the public, the atmosphere is already tense. It's poised for good football action. It is poised for Dominican rivalry, where the Dominicans are decked in green and getting set. We will see some strong football stalwarts here. I just wished and hoped that my good friends from Sports Rap would have taken up the mantle and be there as well.
Next time.
We'll try to come across after Sports Rap. Because today my class was doing its exam, and when I went up to the college on my way down, I saw the tarpaulins and was wondering.
We took them down. We took them down.
I was going to raise that with you, because it's very limited. Your area inside the to accommodate people is very limited. So let me suggest.
We took them down.
Let me suggest, like the French people do, pass it la chapeau. Sometime at halftime, have somebody go around with a bag or a hat and see what you can collect from the people outside, especially people on the southern side. There'll be a lot of people on the southern side.
Well, Mr. Landa, and to the listeners of Q95 as we speak, there are arrangements made for people I want to see. But nonetheless, the Passe de la Chapeau will continue. And I said to persons, and I will say that publicly as a public relations officer, if we want to see an enhancement with Stockton, we now need to start putting our hands in our pockets. It was a test run as to many other things that were to come, but nonetheless, as an executive and as an association, we saw it fitting to have the patrons, because they do it for the Premier League. Just come, sit, good camaraderie, family time, and enjoy football.
Yes,
I wish I had some photo moments to show you the warm-up sessions going on, but where I am standing now, it's kind of difficult, because like I told you, in order to ensure things are in top notch as PRO and part of the production team, there are things I must ensure that is in top notch. But nonetheless, football will continue after the international friendlies come this weekend. I have the tables standing as we speak. Dubla is on 16 points. Portsmouth Bombers, Roosters, Carrick Bombers on 13. We United, Valvoline, We United on 12. Belfast Mao Soccer Strikers on 11. Middleham FC on 10. Southeast on 9. Comex Harlem United 5. But Michelle FC 4. DSFC would be 3 and East Central 1. These are the points standing for week 6 of our football for the Premier League.
And it continues this weekend or next week?
Well, this weekend there is a hiatus because of the international friendly.
Okay.
We will not see any games in the first division and in the Premier. But come Friday, as soon as this international friendly is over, we are back for to normal programming where the DFA will present week number 6 or 7 of its football, Premier Football. It's First Division 1. And in the next 2 weeks thereafter, we'll commence that of the Women's Premier League.
Okay, and of course, just to remind our listeners that the second friendly takes place this Sunday. What time on Sunday at the Windsor Park?
Sunday at 4 p.m. at the Windsor Park Sports Stadium. The price is $20 for adults and children under 12. We just ask for a mega contribution of $10 thereabouts. But tonight, for those that wanting to be on the game, if you want to sit and be comfortable, the price is $10 and $5.
All right, that is great. That is great. And Emmanuel, you had something?
Yes, I'm just sitting there. I'm just telling myself, gentlemen, I just want to wish the Dominica team all the best. That's one, all the best. The last time I was engaged, being the trainer of the team, we went to we went to Barbados again for 2 friendlies, and we beat them in Barbados. My key striker was Curlson, That year he had a very outstanding year in football, But gentlemen, I'm just Dr. Fontaine Lander, as you said about on Sunday. I was telling myself, here again, we have to play a game in the afternoon. Here again, we have to play a game in the afternoon. They have lights. Very sad.
Mr. LeBlanc, everything is not pessimistic, because we've heard it and let's
I am not. No, that's not for you. That's not for you, brother.
Soon. It will be lifted.
Ebby, Emmanuel is making a very good point. By now, the stadium should be lit. There should be lights in the stadium. Notwithstanding all limitations, we work with all limitations.
Mr. Landa, we've heard it from the officials that works will commence at the Windsor Park Sports Stadium.
After how many years? After how many years?
No. This is not the Dominica Football Association.
Precisely, that's what we're telling you. Precisely.
That's what
Precisely.
The onus is on us right now to ensure that we can push the agenda of having lights at the stadium.
Very good.
And tonight, as soon as Sports Shop is over, come to Stockfam and let's witness good football. But I want to put Low Black on the spot tonight. Low Black, we win in that game. I wanted to sponsor the women's league.
Why you find I want to sponsor it? There's money flowing, in Dominica. People have money for Dominica. Money.
Now this is Eddie Lawrence talking. You can take off the atmosphere as well.
No, I'm telling you, Eddie.
We bash. But tonight I'm going to put you to the test.
No, Eddie, I need
to sponsor my women's game.
Eddie, I have done enough free service in this country. I should be compensated enough in Dominica for the years.
We can still give to our young persons. We can still give to our young persons and tell them we care. Right, Dr. Fontaine?
Yes, indeed. Eddie, also, I wanted to ask you, in terms of the viewing, for those who are not able to make it from tonight.
Absolutely. I do apologize. For those wanting to view, they could go on the FIFA Plus. Those that have Google, they could listen well. FIFA Plus, Dominica versus Barbados.
FIFA Plus, what is that? Is that on Facebook? Where is that?
FIFA Plus. You could just type it. Go on Google.
Oh, it's on the internet. FIFA Plus.
Yeah, FIFA Plus. Mm-hmm. And then you just type Dominica versus Barbados. You will see the link. And as soon as you see the link, you click on the link. watch for free, and then that's it.
All right.
Ebby, what's the preliminary impression of the Bajans of the playing area in Stock Farm?
Well, when they came, they wowed, and I stood. No, I was there yesterday actually, and I'm saying that publicly. When they came, they wowed, and I stopped myself and two other members from the executive, and we were asking, but what is going on? They say, you all are top of the notch with such a facility, well kept, and yet we in Dominica would say, but it's not covered. Now they are saying the same to us, Barbados is not covered, and they are now one of the executive persons left because we know, and it may not be in our tenure, but there is the aspect of covering and having new dormitories for the facility, and I just sometimes, and I love the fact when others come and appreciate what we have, and we as Dominicans do not see the value to which we have things. But nonetheless, gentlemen, I'm pleased, and I will call you before the end of the program is over to tell you what is happening. But right now, I got to go get myself and the DJ queued up for what is about to begin in transpire in the next 30 minutes thereabout.
Okay, thank you, Ebby.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, Ebby. And
welcome.
Let me encourage Dominicans. If you're indecisive, you don't have anything to do tonight, please go up to Stock Farm and support our footballers. That's high quality entertainment, decent entertainment that you can go out and support your national team. Let's support the guys so they can win. I have pleasant memories. I played for Dominica under 19 football in the Kimberley Wireless League. But before me, I remember we were playing in Windsor Park. And nobody remember that. We were playing in Windsor Park against Barbados. And Barbados had us 3-1 on the 19 Cable and Wireless, 3-1. And we made 2 subs and we defeated them 4-3. And that was a marvelous game for us Dominicans.
Yep.
We really enjoyed it.
Those
So,
days.
so let's hope tonight, and we have a good record against Barbados. We have a very good record against Barbados. So I anticipate that the team will play and win, but more importantly, Dominicans, let's go out there and support. I recall when we played against Jamaica in the Windsor Park, and Jamaica is a more established team than us. We were able to hold Jamaica together. They won in the end, I think it's 3-2, but we were able to hold Jamaica together. So let's hope tonight that our players can apply themselves and we can get a victory against Barbados. So we'll have a big game on Sunday in the Windsor Park.
Yes, indeed. Yes, I think, it's all set for some great action tonight. So, of course, if you're within the Roseau area, you take a drive up to Stock Farm and support. Please support the Dominica team. It's going to be a great affair here tonight. Dominica versus Barbados in an international friendly. And we don't get those games very often, by the way. So it's a good opportunity to see some, top of the class action right here in Dominica.
And soon from now, we're going to have something similar in basketball. And we need, that is what sports tourism is all about. And we need to organize ourselves. We need to organize ourselves so we can benefit more from sports tourism. When we come a little later on and we start speaking about cricket, you will see all over St. Kitts, Grenada, St. Vincent, all those little islands that were way behind us. They are benefiting from sports tourism. They are benefiting from international cricket. And Dominica, we don't get any international cricket.
Why? Why?
Mismanagement. We are not managed properly.
No, it does that. No, but Landa, first of all, Landa, listening to you, listening to you all, and I was listening to the response of Eddie a while ago. Because you see, I don't know, I look at things differently, Landa. And we don't accept. First of all, we are not visionaries. Whatever we do is just for today. We build just for today. We don't look beyond. We don't look at the big picture. I'll give you a perfect example. This indoor thing at Massac. Come on, we should have gone to Stock Farm and build something where we can accommodate 2,000 people, 3,000, 5,000. We moved from the Windsor Park where we had huge crowd in the Windsor Park. To go in a place where holding less than 500 people and say, oh, we have an indoor. I don't settle for these things, man. I don't. I look at the bigger picture. I look beyond.
Black, that's what I'm telling you. Mismanagement.
You know.
Mismanagement. If we were managing our country properly, we would have been able to put down facilities. Look at St. Lucia, where they put down a facility for their cricket, for their swimming, for everything in one area. Why can't we do that? Why we're not sufficiently visionary and plan sufficiently to get those level of facilities executed?
You know, and then also what is even more worrisome to me, I mean, outside of Barbados in terms of the cricket, the highest numbers of fans anywhere in
Dominica
is Dominica. So Dominica should be a natural shoe-in for any time there's international cricket. Dominica should be a natural shoe-in for those games. But yet, a whole year is going to pass this year. All of these CPL is going to pass us, Breakout League passes by, Women thing passes by, international cricket, nothing is coming to Dominica.
Australia.
And it's because we fail to have the facilities.
Organize ourselves.
You know,
Organize
and I can
ourselves.
tell you the day Dominica is organized, we'll be getting that constantly because our people love the cricket. They come out, they support the cricket. They are bringing crowds back where crowds have disappeared elsewhere in the Caribbean, you know, except Barbados, of course. And that is something that we have, and we should really be making sure we capitalize upon.
But you see, and this is gentlemen, look, no, man, look. It is sad that, look at the Windsor Park. $2 million just disappeared. $2 million just disappeared from that. There's no accountability. What happened to that money? Then you end about you get 14 million from lot 3. So it is in Dominica. So it is.
Yeah, very, very unfortunate, you know.
Lobe, I put that, I capsule that in one word, you know, management. Management. And people could assist in managing the country. They've got sidelined. They've got marginalized. Who could help to ensure that things are done properly. And it's grossly unfortunate. But we have to find a way, we've got to find a way to get those things going, or else we'll suffer considerably.
But look, Landa and Dr. Fountain, look what's happening to us right now. Right now. Do you know that look at the schools that have been affected. Grammar School, Convent, Wesley High School, Community High School, Goodwill School, SMA, and where the grounds are wrong. Grammar School ground gone. Gardens look at Gardens somewhere. Goodwill, Savannah gone. What happened to the young sportsmen? Tell me, what's happened to the young sportsmen? When you look, I was in Dominica, all you see guys were drinking, smoking. It's ridiculous, man. It is just sad.
I think a fundamental error was made. Whoever intended to have done it in the Windsor Park to put the stadium, that was an error. That was a fundamental error. And we're paying for it right now.
But why interfere with Grammar School ground? The ground was right there. Why?
Because you built a stadium in the Windsor Park.
Anyway,
we've got Donny Robinson with us.
Okay.
We've got Donny Robinson. He's got a commitment, but he's given us his time tonight to come to speak to us about the DABA Elias Dupuy Memorial Knockout Cup, the Creole Cup competition, and also to speak to us a bit about the NBA. I know you'll be very interested in that. Donny, good night. And it's a pleasure to have you on again tonight.
Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening. My pleasure being here.
Tell us first about the DABA Elias Dupuy Memorial Knockout Cup semifinals.
Yeah, so the semifinals took place last night between the 4 top teams. And obviously, it was well attended. I think the crowd got treated. Both games were well played, very close games. But in the first game, the Peebush Eagles knocked out the team from Pishley, the Pishley Falcons, and Dr. Daru Falcons. And in the second game, the 767 Sports Club, the winning national champions, the Detroit Blazers. So
did you play last night, Donny?
Yes, I did. I had fun on the court last night. But, it's preseason, so last year we also lost the preseason and came and swept the league. So that's nothing to worry about. But it was a good hard fought game, good turnout last night.
So when is the finals?
The final scheduled for Saturday evening. At 9 o'clock start, 9:30 start, I think, on Saturday night between the Pebush Eagles and the 767 dominating sports club from Roseau. It's good to see a central team actually stepping up and making it to the final. So it'll be a big game on Saturday night.
So you have any games before that? Because I see you start at 9:30. Any activity before that?
There's an activity taking place before that. Not basketball related. There's an activity taking place before that. Therefore, we try to catch the prime time. Normally, our better games start at 9, but this one will start around 9:30.
Here again, people of Dominica, we know we have our limitations in terms of the space, but this is wholesome entertainment on a Saturday night. So I encourage you, this weekend, you've got a lot of entertainment. Saturday night, you've got basketball. Sunday, you've got football. So you can go out there and entertain yourself in a wholesome way and support your country.
Yes. We're looking forward to that. I think the preseason, the last UP tournament has become a staple now in our basketball calendar. And I think it's good to get people ready and teams ready for the season when it comes. So we're planning to start the season in about 2 weeks from this weekend. To have a small break to participate in the Creole Cup in the French Islands coming up. So that's the basketball on the card for now.
Who was Elias Dupuy? I'm trying to place him.
Elias Dupuy was one of our lead officials. If not the lead official we had at the time. Very present and active in the officiating part of basketball and in the organizing of basketball. So, a big extent in the Benz and Zime district. So he was a pillar in our basketball and our local basketball setup.
Yes, Emmanuel, go ahead.
Well, yes, and Tony, I was surprised to hear that you all got beaten at home, man.
I was surprised. I mean, it's okay. It's preseason, the older you are.
But when you say it's okay, it's looking like fellas didn't put in enough work. They were too complacent.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe what happened is it's early in the season. Guys haven't played that.
But you're at your home. I mean, look, Donnie, at your home, but I mean the thing is right there. I know guys. I know the running Dominica, man. I know how guys. I know guys want to win. They want to win. The days when guys put a lot into it. Not like before.
And then Donnie, I think as well the Pebush team, they're also match fit because they're coming out of a league as well, right? They just had a recent league out there in Pebush, so the guys most likely are fit and.
Yeah, they have an ongoing off-season league. Actually, I think this weekend is the last might be the final game or something. They still have some basketball going on there, and that is the whole idea of the pre-season, to get guys back into thinking of playing together again. And we're hoping by the time the tournament actually comes around, guys will be ready. But I think it's good to shock them a little bit and shake up things and make the league a little more interesting.
Tony, can you mention some of the names of the outstanding players in the knockout competition?
Well, yeah, for the Pebush Eagles, we have a couple of players that stands out. I mean, you have guys like Shama Felicite. Last night had a really good game. Lelian Paul, these guys are staples in the basketball up there, and they're really doing well. There have a couple of young guys. You have Ifan Bolan, the Marigot protege, but has moved to Eagles and the national player or national caliber player. So these three guys pretty much are the three leading scorers, but they've made up of a good bunch of young guys around them as well. For the Fischler team, you have some young up-and-coming guys like Zach Bastien. He scored something like 27 points last night. You have Yawani Regis and Mishak Debule. All these guys are under 20 age group guys. So it's good to see that those guys are stepping up, the young guys, and we have some promise in the future there. so far, yeah, in the first game, there were two good guys. You come in the second game, you had a couple of the usual older folks like Lincoln Lynch still, scoring a lot of points. You have the normal guys like Maxwell Birmingham, young and upcoming guy, playing pretty well. His brother Kilo Birmingham played well as well. From the other side, we have a young guy that is actually outside playing as we speak. Rennie Williams, he played pretty well last night as well. And Kelsey Guy, there's a lot of guys that starting to get into the groove of things. Some of them are older names, have been back, but it's good to see that. I think we starting to see the guys are showing some interest again.
Very good. We know that your time is a little tight tonight, so we can move to the other major topic, the Creole Cup competition. Can you just give us an overview of that? The teams participating, the preparation of the Dominican team, the composition. I recognize you are the head coach.
Yeah, we try to put a team together. We call a squad up for training, and tonight is actually our second session, training session. It's a 4-nation, 3-destination tournament is what it's called. It's the Creole Memorial Day Cup, and it's going to be held on the weekend of the 22nd. Then there's a leg on the 24th, and then a leg on the 27th. So the idea is you have a series of games in Martinique, a series of games in Dominica, and a series of games in Guadeloupe. And the teams participate in Martinique, Dominica, Guadeloupe, and Benin from the African side. So from the Creole and cultural side is unique. It's the first time we have an African team on our soil playing, and we're hoping that that in itself will spark some interest and some excitement at minimum among the players and the fans and crowds. So that's a quick overview of it. But the thing that's really important is that we would get a leg as well, so we would get a chance to play them in Dominica.
On what day? On what day, Donnie? On the 24th.
The weekend, 24th. Yes, that's the day that we played. So every stop would have 2 games. One a night where. So when we go to Martinique, we are playing. I think we're playing Guadeloupe in Martinique, or Martinique in Martinique, and then we come to Dominica, we're playing Benin in Dominica, and then we go to Guadeloupe, we're playing Guadeloupe in Guadeloupe. So we get a chance to really play some high-level basketball. I mean, the guys from Guadeloupe, most of them are playing in the European semi-pro leagues and some in college.
Yeah, top players. Top players.
So, yeah, top players, So Benin is very...
What about Benin? Benin has any international players?
Benin has a couple prospects, but Benin is a very tall team.
Very tall.
So those guys are very tall and physical. So it will be good exposure and a good opportunity for us to measure, especially the younger guys, what we have to offer.
Yeah, because gentlemen, that basketball don't forget you have the African League. So basketball now is spreading in Africa, or the continent of Africa. It's growing very, very fast. Yeah.
So who is financing this important initiative?
Well, the reality is we still at the mercy of the private sector. We are working closely with the private sector, trying to raise some funds and get some sponsors between the ABA and some of our local, private sector partners. That's our hope. We are hoping that the government will come on board and help us in some way or form. But the good thing is we have a good partner in terms of the sponsorship with Express Deal that actually gives a good almost 100% discount on the travel part of aspect of the cost. So that will help us go a long way. But then in the meantime, the balance of that will depend on the rest of the private sector to help out.
Donnie, is there any help coming from the Olympic Committee?
For this tournament, no. But we have gotten very good help from the Olympic Committee, even as we entered our last National League. And I'm expecting that to happen. But for this tournament, no, we're not going to get into the Olympic Committee.
What is the fee like for entry on the 24th?
Yeah, it will be about $10 per head. We expect it, obviously, for regional basketball. We don't expect it to be the same as our local league. I think that's a fair expectation.
Yeah,
our
fair,
local
fair.
league is $5 entrance, so we will most likely jack that up to about $10.
Please, Dominicans, you're hearing Donnie Robinson, a very formidable basketballer who is now not only organizing basketball, but is also organizing training. And they're going to have an international competition in Dominica. And the financing is going to be highly dependent on the private sector. So let's go out there and full up the playing area. Let's go out there and give them optimal support so that they can take care of the expenses. Please, Dominicans.
So, are we through with the local? Can talk about the NBA now? Huh?
Before we go to the any other point that you would want to raise on the Creole cup competition before we go into the NBA?
Yeah, I just want us to really appreciate the opportunity that's there. There's in the lack or in the absence of regional basketball competitions is absolutely critical that we get our young and upcoming players exposed to in some shape or form to whatever opportunities are out there. I mean, we cannot guarantee an opportunity is going to happen or be fruitful, but what we can guarantee is to provide them with that chance to participate and create that environment that allows them to thrive, where they can showcase their talents, and who knows what comes out of that. I think it's very critical that we understand that from a private sector standpoint, from a governmental standpoint, from a club standpoint, from an organizational standpoint, that tournaments like these, it's very easy not to attend. But I think we do a lot more damage in terms of giving people something to play for. We want basketball at all sports levels to raise. For that to happen, there must be a carrot dangling at the end of the tunnel for you to pay for. That's just how it is. And I think tournaments like that, we must make sure that we don't underestimate the importance and do everything we can humanly possible so that it can happen.
I remember some time ago you made mention of a potential regional competition. Any progress in that area?
Well, we've made some progress. We've had added discussions in terms of that. We still at the phase of trying to get everybody on board. We have 2 countries so far that are very eager to make it happen, which is St. Lucia and Dominica. We're hoping we can bring Trinidad and Tobago on board. And once that happens, I think the final details in terms of who's hosting that, I think that's the easiest part. But it's to get those guys playing enough basketball where they can have a representative, or they can feel they have a representative team to participate. Because the basketball is not just Dominica that is that's suffering, to be honest. I mean, the North Islands, we are plagued with that. I mean, St. Lucia is just getting back up and running. St. Vincent is not as formidable as it used to be, although they have NBA history in St. Vincent. So it's a collective effort, but I would not jump the gun and say we're any much further, more than we've had 1 or 2 more discussions about it. But I'm hoping by the end of this year we can have something that we can hold our foot to.
Do we have any at this point in time? Do you see any potential international players among the young, talented players that we have in Dominica?
Oh yeah, I think we have a few. I mean, we have a crop of 3 or 4 guys that with the right exposure, the right opportunities, and obviously the right training and preparation.
What, Donnie? What position?
We have guys at small forward. We have guys at guard, and we don't have.
What is this small forward? What's your height?
6'8", 6'7", 6'8". On the slender side, but putting on weight is easier part in this stage. So you cannot buy height, and you cannot grow height overnight. So
no, man, you
have
to.
We have a couple potential guys. We have a couple potential guys.
Yeah, it's very competitive. Yeah, very. Yeah.
At their minimum, Lobby, I think these guys can get free education with the potential.
Yes. If they can get through the college system. This Dominican guy who played NBA, he was promoting this competition, the Creole competition, some time ago on a program, and he spoke very highly of you. In your youth days, he said he was looking up to you as one of the superstars in basketball in Dominica. What's his name again?
Gav Joseph.
Gav Joseph. Gav Joseph.
Yeah, Gav and I have a long history. Good job.
Yeah, these were the days, Donny. The days in the Windsor Park.
So we have to see if we get a few other Gav Josephs. Okay, so let's go to the next major area. I know that you have a commitment. You need to deal with your commitment. Let's look at the next major area, the NBA. And one of the things in the NBA I would like to compare and contrast is the regular season and the playoffs.
Money
You see,
making.
the regular season, certain teams dominate. And then when they come in the playoffs, some of them get kicked out in the first round.
The different kettle of fish, Lander.
It's a totally different kettle of fish. You know,
Yep.
you remember you coming into a playoff is like you coming into a tournament.
Knockout.
You have 7 games to beat a team.
Yeah.
And if you are paid as a coaching staff millions of dollars, your job is to make sure you prepare for that team. As opposed to having 82 games where tonight you play Lobby, tomorrow night you play me, this one you play.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yep.
you don't. But when you have a week to prepare for a team, it's all about matchups. Playoffs is about matchups and experience and who's beating them, who wants it. So no matter your regular season record, your regular season record helps that you might get a lower seed, but that doesn't mean much in the NBA. Everybody is a professional. Those guys, their skill levels are not much far apart, and it becomes all about execution and preparation. And with time, those professionals, they will be prepared. And that's what's happening to the better teams, at least those with the better records. I mean, you look at the Boston Celtics. Boston Celtics, whole year, they're shooting threes and make a living out of threes. Everybody at the team shooting threes, and playoffs they can get because everybody's prepared for that. And so, yes, while you might have the best record in the league, when you come to playoffs and you meet a team like Knicks that's hungry and plays defense for a living, you're going to suffer. That's just how it is. It's totally different.
But you would find historically the teams that do much better in the regular season, when they come in the playoffs, they also do reasonably well. And you look at Michael Jordan and his team, you look at he used to win how many games, and when he comes in the playoff, he still dominates the playoff.
Yeah, but you see, those were the days when a team was made up of 1 or 2 superstars. Today, every good NBA team has 3 or 4 superstars, superstars. So if you look at like a team like the Boston Celtics, anybody in the starting 5 could start on any team in the NBA. Whereas in Jordan days, there were not many superstars, if any, at Jordan's level. So if Jordan has a Scottie Pippen, he's going to dominate whoever he plays. If you add a Rodman to that and a Steve Kerr, then all of a sudden you have a super team. But today, all teams are super teams. If you really look at it, if you look at Minnesota has 2 twin towers. They have Ant-Man. They have guys that can jump out of the gym. Regular season, you might be able to keep up with them for 1 game, but can you keep up with them for 7 games in a row? It's kind of tough. You know, I feel believe now the parity has changed. You have more superstar level players and more teams are packed with those players. And therefore, the games now come down to everything about preparation and who's better on that particular night, as opposed to who has been better over the 4-month season. And we've seen that as we speak. I mean, look at Cleveland, look at Boston, look at Thunder. I mean, who expects Thunder to lose the first game? Nobody. But here you are. So yeah, that's we're not talking Lakers tonight because I want to sleep well. So
listen, me. I'm a Laker from since 6. I supported Lakers, but let me tell you, first of all, the first mistake management made, was to get that player. That's the first mistake they made, because it's only an offensive player. And I find number 2 with LeBron. LeBron cannot tell. Look, that's one of LeBron weakness, low post. You cannot tell me you're 6'8", that size you have, you're allowing Edwards to terrorize you like that. There's no way Kobe. There's no way on the fellas. I was a bit totally disappointed with LeBron. Disappointed with him.
But But look, in Lakers defense, remember Lakers had a second part to that trade. They were supposed to get that Williams guy, and that guy actually has the longest or the widest wingspan in the NBA. Remember, he failed that fitness test, so that trade didn't go through because that was supposed to be the big man that would anchor the middle and provide some defense.
Yeah, man, I was totally disappointed, man.
That didn't work out, and then because that trade happened the day after Anthony Davis, but it was never validated because he failed the fitness test.
I know, but
in the absence of that, you cannot teach Luka defense overnight.
I know, but no, listen to me. He's a pro. Yeah, I blame the coach on Dallas. As a coach, you're in charge. You have to emphasize that. You have to improve defense. No matter how good you are, you have to improve on defense. Have to. All right? This is ridiculous, man. I can be paying you big money, and it doesn't offend. You have to improve. You can't be on my team playing for Dallas. You have to. So I blame the coach. You got to be tough.
Everybody ever accepted the fact that he's in the top 5 offensive players and we're going to pay big money for him.
Boy, at the end of the day, defense is key.
I agree.
Because if you go back, you look at Kobe and Jordan, these two players, I mean, when come for D, they play D. Yeah, defense. I mean.
I'm starting to jump on my Warriors. I like the old folks, so I'm gonna wave my cap to Warriors.
Yeah, you're like we're on same page. We're on same page, Donnie.
The old guys and see if they can cause some problems in the West.
But as you're saying that, can you just give us a preview how you see things evolving now in the playoffs? What teams you see dominating in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think if Denver comes out of that Thunder series, Denver will have to beat just because of Joker and the matchup.
Joker, yes. Yeah.
The matchups are very difficult. There's no one player that can play Joker one-on-one and stop him, right? No, if he gets out of that series, I think Denver would be the team to watch coming from the West. Now, if that doesn't happen and Warriors get past this series, and they have to meet Thunder in the finals, I think Warriors will beat them in the best.
Oh yes,
that's what I think. From the East, I still believe Boston is too much of a good team to lose that series. They're just, in my opinion, the best built team.
They looked tired last night, Donnie.
They're just not playing well. Again, New York is just a bad matchup. New York has look,
Donnie. I understand you, but Donnie, I look at New York team is a fit team. They're hungry, and I look at Boston last night. They look flat. They look tired.
But defense make you look tired. That's what I'm saying. These guys are playing defense like they're just desperate.
Well, that's how it is. You have to play defense. You have to prepare for that. You have to prepare for that, brother. Now I play. That's my game. You have to be hungry.
So I think from the East I still have Boston as.
Yeah,
I don't think the winner of the other series, Cleveland and Pacers, that's in my opinion a more inferior series. I think the winner of Boston New York series, which I think will be Boston, will win the East, and we could see a Warriors Celtics final. That would be nice.
Yeah.
It would be nicer to see a Lakers Celtics, but I think Warriors.
I know we're not there. We're not there.
You're no Warrior.
Yeah. I'm also one to be a Warrior.
Donnie, a very interesting thing has happened in terms of the increase in payments for the college basketballers.
Oh, I'm happy for that.
How is that impacting on the NBA?
No, I think what will happen, and that's again from my little experience in college and having a few guys in the college circle. I think what happens now is that you find these very good athletes in college. They are not desperate to do 1 year and disappear anymore. I mean, you have college athletes making $2 and $3 million in earnings based on this new rule. The downside to that is the coaches have less control over the players now. So it's all, as much as we still think it's an amateur league and you get this on their popularity, you still have movements now where a guy can change a college and play the very next
True. Right.
season. Before you have the red shirt before and sit out a year if you move from college to college and do that without any cash. So now that is done. But I think for the basketball standpoint, I think you have players now even being more hungry and even being more interested in being at their true potential at the college level as early as possible so they can cash in.
Yep.
But from the NBA standpoint, it maybe will actually help college retain a little some of the quality for
Resistance. Yes. Mm-hmm.
But overall, it's a fair thing to do, in my opinion.
I love it. I love that. I give Danny. I give out my blessings when I heard that.
Yeah. Because there's so much money in college sports for it solely to go to administrators.
Yeah, because even they give you a scholarship, but let's face it, the amount of games you have to play, is not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Not just the games will be easy. I mean, a lot of guys sacrifice their school.
Of course, sacrifice. I know.
Take 5 and 6 years to graduate. Most college athletes, because
Yeah.
the workload that it takes, you have to be on the road, you have the training.
I know.
And even been pushed to take inferior topics and subjects and
Yep.
overall degrees because of the work. So it has not always been a fair.
True.
It has never been a fair system. And now it's coming out that the athlete is getting a little more. I just hope it does not taint the education part of it too much. But then again, if you're making good money, you can always go back to school. I guess that's what they say.
Yeah, but and Donnie also look at the prices. Look at the crowds are enormous. The stadiums are filled.
Yeah.
Look, I am looking at the price. Look, the NBA, the Knicks and Boston. The cheapest ticket, gentlemen, is $810.
Yeah, that's the cheapest ticket, and you might need binoculars.
And then
Binoculars.
That's right. Oh my goodness. 810. Wow.
So the players at the college level, the price is even a very high too, Gentlemen, it's not 20, but yet still, the crowds, the stadiums are packed. So you have to pay the people. You have to come up, guys. Get something. I'm very happy for that. I have no problem with that.
I think overall it is good. I mean, having been through the system, I can tell you there's enough to go around and to make sure that you don't have the crookedness of the boosters coming around and giving you money illegally and this kind of
True.
thing. You open it up and let the better athletes make some money of the time.
Of course.
Do you see that enhancing the quality of basketball at the college? And what impact would that increase in salary would have on other sports in the college?
Especially football.
Well,
I was thinking of the same thing.
I think, like I said, if you retain the players a little more, so instead of a guy being one and done, he does 2 or 3 years, over that span of time, you will develop a lot more quality college basketball.
Yep.
That way. I see that happening. Now, as it pertains to other sports, the good thing about it is the NCAA rule is across the table. So you have gymnasts doing and being able to exercise the same rights to popularity in the U.S. college system. You have baseball players. So it's across the board.
Yep.
It's just that the more popular sports, the athletes are getting more. I mean, if you look up the top pick in the WNBA draft, she was making $2 million in her last season in college. That's more than she would most likely make in her first season in WNBA.
True.
Yes, but she earns it differently. She earns it on popularity and endorsements and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So it is across the board. I think it only continue to grow because TV rights going up every year.
True.
All the conferences are recalibrating, so the Big East is changing. They're adding bigger schools. So it's just going to continue to evolve. I don't think
Money's friend, money.
Like I said, I think it actually will help keep better guys together. together for longer, therefore making the basketball and the sport on a whole lot more competitive. And the NBA, you will find now what will happen, might not happen this year or next year, but over the years, you will find that the minimum salaries for entry level in those professional sports will have to go up because guys are used to money. And that is going to be one of the challenges that's going to happen as it evolves into the professional scene.
Yeah, but Donnie, yes, why are you talking about the increase? But at the same time, you have to step up. They are going for the very best.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yes.
Donnie, thank you very much for your valuable contribution. We always value your contribution to Sports Wrap. You are so mentally organized, and I know that you have another commitment. We wish you well with the national team, and we'll be coming out to support the national team on Saturday night. I encourage as many Dominicans as possible. This is a wholesome sport. It's a gratifying sport. Let's go out there and support our national team. Thank you very much, Donnie.
Appreciate it, man. Anytime. Have a good night.
Thank you,
All
brother.
right, good night, Donnie.
Okay.
All right. Okay, we're going to take a quick call before we take a break because this person have been trying to reach us for the longest while. Good evening, caller.
Yeah, what's up? Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Hey, my brother, how are you?
I love you. What's up?
Cool, my brother, man. Good to hear your voice, man. How you doing?
Yeah, it's been a little while. Yeah, that's actually good. Well done. I guess I'll be left.
Yeah, he had to go. He had to go to work with the national team.
National team, you know, and maybe discussion has been ongoing about the teams, but it's just sad. But for me, it's very sad that when you talk about sports in Dominica,
boy,
and you have football and basketball, you have no teams from the capital. I mean, something has to be wrong with that. You know what capital? I mean, come on. And I mean, I said that some while ago, and people tell me that's discrimination. I said, this is not discrimination, we have facts. You have players from Central that was their life from very early. And then the centralized stadium came in, and from the time the stadium came in, that was a crash. And we had to start all over again. And basically, I listened, when you listen to the stories about what they're planning to do and so, and I said it, you know, after the program. That's another 10, 15 years down the road you're talking about.
I know.
St. Lucia, Grenada, St. Vincent, all those countries, they have teams from Kingston, from Castile. Okay, I mean, come on, you have your capital city, no teams from there. Some really guys have been drilled from a very early age, and then you have players who you want to make from 13, 14, 15. We get in a hurry, and that's not discrimination. Right? That's fine. We're way behind.
Boy.
And I once mentioned the Barbados match as in 1974.
74?
It was 5-3. It was 5-3.
Oh, 5-3.
Yeah.
They had a streak of half time and
3-1.
Goal and the goal, and they substitute the whole.
Don't call names. Tilly, don't call names. Don't call names.
Don't call names? All right. Those are facts, you know? Those are facts.
Call the names of the players who did very well.
Hold
like
on.
Abu and Rojo.
Trevor Knight was the goalkeeper. They had to substitute him.
Manu. Bring in Manu.
Bring in Manu. And he beat Barbados 5-3 at the Winter Park. Right.
That's it.
So,
no,
you know.
But
it's very sad state, you know. And I mean, when I listen to the football coach some time back, talking about where the players need to be trained and the players need to. Man, they got to be trained very early and the passion. I don't think them guys have that kind of passion for the game. Because even with basketball, they only had some woman who said about the program, and she mentioned that they're playing less basketball now, but they're getting better. So that knocks the marking. So I don't know how you could play less and get better. So I don't think them guys have the passion. I don't think they play enough to improve. You got to play to improve.
The more you play, better for you.
Well, I don't know what kind of match that will be. You know, one thing with that.
Right,
Of
look,
course.
That was already ready.
Look, but I mean, the only thing we didn't have in the Winter Park was a bed for us to sleep there.
Bed to sleep. Yeah. So
We were there
really 10, 15
24/7.
years behind.
24/7.
We really 10, 15 years behind, honestly. Because, I mean, as you say, one of the problem I got on retention, they can't keep all and so I just sign with this, you know, so they got to work on these things and get it going because, I mean, the
No,
kind of
but I
money
mean
that
to
is
say,
spent in the football now,
Lee,
you understand?
Lee, I feel your pain. I have the pain just like you. I get gripes when I think
Yeah,
of, I look back
yeah,
where we were.
and very well, very, and now something very wrong.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, very wrong. Anyway, take care, guys.
Okay, thank you
All
very
right,
much,
thank you.
Tilly. All right.
All right. A break. We take a quick break and we'll be right back with lots and lots of cricket action when we come back.
Out in the white zone by himself in the field. And that's a throw in coming in. Again, wrong throw in there by Thomas.
It's at AC Shillingford. All chicken parts available that you can afford. Fresh breast. And you know breast is best. Shillingford wings have muscle. After you eat it, you can fly. As for Shillingford chicken drumsticks, even swinging stars just order drumsticks from Shillingford. And for those of you who love Risapul, AC Shillingford keeps your belly full. Buy your chicken wholesale at AC Shillingford. From wings to thighs to drums to breasts to backs to necks. It's available. It's always available and it's affordable. Plus, you've got pork feet, ham and turkey, bull foot, chicken nuggets, pepperoni, all those right seasonings to make your kitchen keep on ticking. Buy your wholesale chicken at AC Shillingford. When you think of chicken, think of AC Shillingford. Always fresh.
One big what you do? Shop at SCN. Better than the rest. Go shop at SCN. And they all compare. Shop at SCN. You get more for life. Shop at SCN. Shop at SCN. Yeah, shop at SCN. Shop at SCN. What is that? Shop at SCN. Yes, family, customer friendly. With free locations, it's so convenient. And our prices, Madam, that's where you belong. Oh, tell your mama, tell your papa, shop at SCN. Tell your son and your daughter, shop at SCN. Auntie, nan, and cousin, friend, open power, all of them. Grandma, grandpa, couple, neighbor, girlfriend, boyfriend, side. What? Shop at SCN. Shop at SCN. Shop at SCN. Shop at SCN. Check us out at Pottersville, High Street, and downtown Rose. Dominicans, enjoy your property, protect your property. You homeowner and businessman, protect your property, enjoy your property. Can't wait for the hurricane, can't wait till your flood again. Till your roof fly out and all your business running out. Remember, no insurance company will insure your property when a storm is approaching. Get ahead of the hurricane season. Insure with a company who gives you the assurance of payment for your valid claim. Come speak with us today at the New India Assurance Company Limited, upstairs AC Shillingford and Company Limited, 24 King George Street, Roseville. Bring along an up-to-date valuation from a qualified engineer and get insured today. Looking for a quiet, relaxing place to stay? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Leaving the office late and need somewhere close to town? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Business clients coming in and need accommodation? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Looking for group accommodation? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Located at 37 Goodwill Road in Portersville, upstairs ACS Supermarket. Enjoy our semi-self-contained rooms with private washroom, bathroom, Wi-Fi, air condition, cable network, mini refrigerator, all in a non-smoking environment. Call or WhatsApp at 1767-275-1899 or email us at info@pottersplaceguesthouse.com to make your reservations. Potter's Place, your home away from home. Fit for a king, a queen, and all their royal subjects.
Quite strangely, we had no domestic cricket over the last weekend. There was a break in the cricket for some reason, which I don't understand.
There was a fete.
But regionally, there was a lot of cricket taking place. The first cricket competition I would like to speak about is the breakout competition. And we are now in a situation where there's a playoff game tomorrow night between Windward Islands Infernos and Leeward Islands Thunder. The winner is going to take on Trinidad and Tobago on Saturday the 10th. Windward in the last two games has performed very well. They beat the Leeward Islands by 37 runs, and they also beat Jamaica Titans by 86 runs. One of the areas of concern for me is my boy Afanaz. In his first inning, he scored 91. He batted very well. And thereafter, he's getting out very cheaply, playing poor shots. The next 4 times, there was one when he played a reverse sweep, he got caught. A ball outside the off stump, he played a careless shot, a short ball, he played a hook shot and skied it, and playing across the line got bowled. I'm saying a competition of that nature, especially with lower class bowlers, Afanaz is supposed to be dominating. He's supposed to be dominating. I heard Sammy making some comments about the organization of that type of league is to really see the young players in action. The Bajans, I saw some of them playing for the Leeward Islands, some for the Windward Islands.
They're all over.
They're all over. But we've got such a rich talent in Stefan Pascal. Stefan should be playing in that competition, if not for Windwards, for some other team. Because the guy is the West Indies under-19 captain. I also look at the bowling of the Windwards team, and I don't understand why Gilson Tyson is left out. I don't understand why. I look at the other players, and Tyson is left out. I don't understand why Tyson has been left out from the team. But a very good thing for us, though, is the exposure of Kieron Phillip, a young Dominican, a medium pacer. You can see the talent is there. He bowls loose balls, but he's got the talent, and he will learn as he goes along.
Yes, indeed. I've been looking at the Breakout League run, and I thought that, Afanaz, I thought was going to dominate this. And when he came out and played the first, which incidentally is the second highest score. And in terms of runs accumulated, he is second on the list in terms of the second most runs because he got a 31, but he's aggregating 154 over the 4 games. So that means that the batting itself across the countries were not all that. But I agree with you, he should have been dominating. I also agree with you that there surely should have been a place for Stefan Pascal. I think that is inexcusable. You have all sorts of Bajan players on all the teams, guys who have not played on under 19, who have not played for the West Indies. And you have a player, I agree, he have not batted very well over the series, the regular series. But in a league like that, he should definitely be one of those guys playing. It was very disappointing to see that he was not offered a place. And, given his age, given his youthfulness, given his talent, given his abilities, and it is very disappointing in a league like that someone like Stefan cannot feature. I think whoever it is drew up those names made a big mistake, and really that is inexcusable. I mean, you have limited talent within the region. And something like that, a league meant for players under 30, he surely should be getting a pick in the game, But outside of that, yes, Mano.
Yes, just gentlemen, what I find funny, gentlemen, first of all, you're talking about Pascal. We have an association here. So who's supposed to lobby? We have an association right here, they must be involved, they must be aware of what's happening. So they should be able to lobby. So we are just lacking lobbyists, man.
To go beyond that, we've got a caller. But to go beyond that, we've got good representation on the Windwards.
So what
We've
happened?
got the president of the Windwards team. We also have representation on the West Indies Cricket Board. And as you correctly say, Nobody's lobbying for players.
All right, let's go to the telephone. Good evening, caller.
Good evening, Doc. Good evening, Landa. Good evening, Lovey.
Good evening, my brother.
Yeah, and missing it in action, Sibo, wherever you are, good evening. Hope you enjoy it. Do you all know who's responsible to pick? First of all, before I ask that question, my first question is, what is the purpose of the breakout league?
It's to identify young upcoming talent.
Exactly, to identify young.
Precisely, and
upcoming
Sammy
talent.
said that today.
My second question is, does the West Indies board have any say in picking the talents they're looking for?
Well, that I was not sure whether it's up to the individual, if we call them franchises like Windwards or Leewards, to pick their own teams. But the fact that you had other players from other islands, in particular Barbados, playing on some of those teams, I don't know how it happens. Honestly, that is something that we need to find out, Ron, in terms of how
Something's not right.
Selecting those teams.
And as Sibo say, there are players who are about 27,
29.
28, 29. You cannot be looking for talent. I agree with Landa 100% that Pascal should have been on the team. Fontaine should have been on the team also.
Honestly,
Tyson should have been on this team. How you can have a player from maybe, I'm not sure where all the players from the Windwards are from, but I just saying, you could have a player from Jamaica or Trinidad that have been playing for Windwards. And you have
some
young,
Belgians playing for
upcoming,
Windwards.
talented Windward Islanders, and they cannot make the team. I just don't understand. And if I live on our boy, Asanas, man, I don't know maybe Windward, but West Indies need to work with Asanas. I believe Asanas has a mental problem. I believe his problem is mental, and they have to get some kind of coach, some kind of psychologist, some kind of something to deal with the guy, because the guy is too talented for him to be farming the fool like that. I call it farming the fool. When you are at that level, bowlers have to get you out. You don't give bowlers your wicket. You don't give your wicket away. Bowlers have to get you out. And as Landa say, when you are up there and you're playing in a league that is beneath you, you should be dominating. Good evening, my brothers.
Yes,
Gentlemen,
thank you.
Gentlemen, I could recall, I don't know if you could recall, I think it was last year, we had Afanas and Hodge. And Afanas said something. He said people spoke about the reverse sweep. That reverse sweep he does. And remember, his answer was he's an aggressive. Remember, he said that he's an aggressive batsman.
Yes, I remember that very, very clearly. And also, by Emmanuel, I don't know where you're going, but I don't think we should be too harsh on him in terms of the use of the reverse sweep, especially in that
that'd be
format
timely.
of the game.
It
Where I
has to be
don't want to
timely.
play the reverse sweep is in his test or even in the 50 over. But in the T20s, I think it's okay.
But
No,
got
but you
to
have
play
let's
good
face
script
it.
in
Yeah,
this
but-
competition.
Yes.
But I have maintained that Dominica, for the first time, have two players on the West Indies team. And we're not giving those guys the optimal attention.
Why should be
Be
why
it physical, be it psychological. And we can see how they out quite a number of times.
But
It's a question of mentally prepared to play. And we're not helping them.
But Landa, I let me tell you, Landa. Let me tell you one thing. We have to agree to disagree. Yeah? But as an individual who has played several sports, I've been playing coaching, and I'll tell you one thing: the fitter you are, is the more mentally prepared you are for a game, and you have to find People talk about the board. The training, the board is on the field. You have to find some activity. You have to help yourself. And if you have to involve in a lot of fitness, these guys are professional. These guys are professional players. They're not, these are being paid.
But
Right.
Bob Black,
They are
if you
full-time.
look at those fellas, you look at Hodge and Afanas on the field, you can see they're very fit, the way they move on the field.
Good, man. So but besides that, let me tell you, You know what Shanda Paul used to do? Shanda Paul created his own activity. Shanda Paul always have a sling. That was one. When he gets to Guyana, he gets some youngsters to bowl to him. He makes sure he's occupied. He creates his own activity, his own. You have to. There are lots of
Yes,
guys
I
when
agree.
Asanas
I
look.
agree that you've got to
Yes,
be
sir, Landa.
physically
Listen,
fit.
Landa.
Just one
Landa.
minute. I agree you
I
have to be physically fit, but you will see that the successful players in any sport are the people that are mentally organized.
That's now. Let me tell you, Landa. I said when he was on our program, I told Afanas, you get to Granby. There are lots of youngsters. I'll be happy to bowl to you. All right. I could recall in the Windsor Park. I was a good ball off break, leg break. All right. Cricket was off break, and Irvin, Clem, all those guys. There was this wicket, they created towards I think the northern side of the Windsor Park. Every afternoon, you'd find the top players in the Windsor Park. Guys bowling to them, and they're batting. Every after they were in the Windsor Park 24/7. 24/7, they were there practicing, getting a knock, looking for a
Nothing
knock.
wrong with
Junior
that.
knock.
No black.
Emmanuel,
Come on, boy, you get it. But
Ron made a
how many
point.
of those guys?
Ron,
Those guys were then shot that they were there in the game. They were there. All right, about mental.
Ron made a point, and I want to come back to it about the mental approach to the game. But I want to contrast the behavior of Joel Anjo, who was on that under-19 team with that Pascal captain, and where he is today, and his mental approach. We'll talk about that, but let's go back to the telephones. Yes, caller.
Gentleman protocol already established. As Dr. Fonkin said, I agree with him 100%. I'm not going to blame Asanas for the reverse sweep in the T20. It is part of T20 because sometimes, according to the field, the captain said the reverse sweep upsets his field, his plan. And then you will not always be successful with the reverse sweep. But I find Asanas has been more successful than unsuccessful with the reverse sweep. So I'm not going to blame him for that. But what I think, as I know Robbie is very high on fitness, and fitness is very important. But what I'm going to blame him for is the mental. Somebody needs to work with him. And then, look, we don't have to go to Windward Board or Windward Board or West Indies Board or Windward or whatever, Lockhart Sebastian is there, the best cricketer batsman we had after Irvin Shillingford. What is the role of the sports, whatever they call themselves, sports association here? Have they ever approached Lockhart Sebastian and other players? Abu is living here now, and I can remember the other names, but these two come to mind. To work with the young players, have they ever done that? Or they playing politics because they feel SIBO is not supporting Skerrit, so they will not approach SIBO? And that is the thing we have, fellas, here. We have the resources here that can help the guys to improve on their game and to be what they have to be at the next level. So we have to leave the politics aside and put Dominica first. In everything we're doing, whether it's sports or whatever we're doing, we have to put Dominica first. Thank you, gentlemen.
Very
right.
good. Very good.
Thank you.
And quick, before you come in, Thompson, and we need to move on because time is not in our favor. They're selecting a captain now for the West Indies team. And a major part is the psychometric testing. You're saying the fellas are mentally prepared to lead the team. So the physical component is very important, but the mental component, because guys are playing stuff mentally now. As before, it was more physical, but now it's more mental. So you've got to be mentally organized to deal with those situations, those challenges accordingly. Yes, Thompson.
Yes, I wanted to talk about the mental part just very quickly. And I saw in the under-19 World Cup when this young player, Joel Anjo, and I saw him batting. The first time I saw him batting, it was clear to me that mentally he had it there. Because even when he was in the middle order, and even when West Indies would falter, this guy would come and he would play steady. He never played any rash shots. He always appeared to be in control. And that I find is the difference between him and even our own Stefan Pascal. You find that after a while, they might just play a rash shot. Even Afanas does that. But this guy has been so disciplined. He hardly ever plays a rash shot. that this Joel Andrew, and see where it has gotten him. Now he's on the senior men's, 50 team, and I'm sure he's going to play in one of those games. And so I agree with you on the mental approach to the game. How you approach it is critical. And I feel that for our own guys, even Stefan and Afanaz, that's an aspect that they probably need to work on a bit harder and have a premium on your wicket. When you go into bat, don't just give it away. It's okay to get out. You must get out at some point, but don't make it easy, for the bowlers. And I think sometimes we tend to temporary lapse of concentration. You see it, off shots being played and so on, So that I believe is very, very important.
But
we need to move on. We need to move on because we're tight with time. The other area we want to look at is the West Indies ODI squad. West Indies have picked an ODI squad. They're going to be touring to Ireland on May 21st to 25th and to England on May 29th to June 3rd. The captain is Shea Hope. Joel Andrews in the team. Casey Carty, Royston Chase, that's one of the guys they're looking for captaincy of the test team. Matthew Ford, Justin Gribbs, Amir Django, who just came on, Alzari Joseph, your boy Shama Joseph, Brendan King, Evan Lewis, Gotish Modi, Shiffin Rutherford, Jaden Sales, and Romario Shepherd. Here again, I love Afanaz. He's Dominican, and I'm Dominicanized. I will support my people, and so I can help them. Afanaz was on the scene long before Joel Andrew, Casey Carty, and Amir Django. They experimented Afanaz in the 50 overs.
As an opener.
And now you have Joel Andrew, Casey Carty, and Amir Django being picked before him. And this team is picked. They're getting ready for the 2027 World Cup. And what has been done there, the nucleus of the team who was successful against England and Bangladesh, at the end of 2024, they are included in that particular squad. I don't think we've got anybody from the Leeward Islands on that squad. You've got quite a number of Leeward Island players.
So you feel Afanaz should have been on that team?
But he's not performing. He's giving away his hands. He should be on that team.
He should not be.
He should.
He should be. He should be. Yeah, he was not picked. I think the problem that I saw, even when he was on the team, was the experimentation with the opening. I never thought that he should have been there, and I think in a way he was almost set up to fail, because he's not a natural opener. And that is where it appears that he was been, a slot was being carved out for him.
But no, he's experimenting now in the T20 opening. He's open for the last two games.
That was a bit surprising.
Yeah,
because when he batted in the first game, he scored 91. He was at number 3. And I think number 3 and 4 is where he should be. I honestly don't believe he has not performed very well in the opening slot, and even when West Indies had him experimenting, I always thought that would not have been good for him. And see what happened. Now he's been expelled. He's not playing. He's not even given a chance to play.
And there was some discussion. About he being considered for the captaincy of the test team.
But gentlemen, whenever I hear the word about captain, there are a lot of players who don't like this at all. They prefer to focus on their batting. I've seen, remember, go back in Chandler Paul, he gave it up. You can go back a number of players, they gave it up.
Chandler Paul didn't have the captaincy in him, Lobby. He didn't have it in him.
No. Listen to me. I don't put in him. Some players, it doesn't help them at all. They prefer to do I want it, but I want to bat. Because let's face it, even though you're a captain and you're not performing with the bat or with the ball, you'll be dropped. You'll be dropped. You have to contribute. If you're a batsman, you have to contribute in the batting. If you're a bowler, an ace bowler, you have to be taking wickets. You have to.
So before you're made captain, you should be
an established
player.
Yeah,
which is surprising in the persons that have been interviewed. I see that they have in there Da Silva has not been able to maintain his peak in the regular West Indies team.
Very interesting.
So what exactly is going on there? And now he's been considered for the captaincy. You know, something about it that seems to me to be very inconsistent. And I see we have Emlak in there. Ron, can you give us the six players? Okay, so let's play this. We have a recording actually from Andrew Mason that talks about the 6 players.
It's
so
very interesting. The 6
we
players:
can
Royston Chase, Justin Graves, Joshua De Silva, Kevin Imlach, John Campbell, and Jamil Warrican. I wonder what they're looking for.
Warrican was a bit surprising. All right, let's play the recording.
The 6 players who were interviewed are Royston Chase, Joshua De Silva, Tevin Imlach, Jamal Warrican, John Campbell, and Justin Graves. I'm told that 2 former test captains are part of the selection process. Also, candidates went through psychometric testing. A second round of interviews are to be conducted shortly, after which the West Indies test captain will be announced.
So it's very interesting because it means that if you bring in Da Silva, because he was originally the vice captain of the West Indies team. So if you bring him in as a possible captain, then where does that leave?
Imlach, and he was dropped for Imlach to come in Pakistan.
It's very personally from the names that are called there. If I were doing the selection, I would go for Royston Chase.
Royston Chase. You recall some time ago when he was on the program and I made mention of Royston Chase. Royston Chase is much organized. Yeah. Organized. A spinner, a batsman, and a communicator.
Mm-hmm.
So he's much more organized to be the leader of West Indies team. But let's see how it turns out.
But gentlemen, wasn't Chase one time? What was he, a vice captain?
No, I don't think he ever reason. He has reason
about that.
Yes, he acted a couple times.
Of course, he acted a couple times. Of course,
mm-hmm.
And he was just sidelined. That what happened there. You know, there was no continuity.
There was a drop in form, and he
he
was able to come back to fight his way back. You know.
Yeah, so I just couldn't understand at all, because when we played Pakistan, you know, this Pakistan in Dominica, Pakistan, and he batted very responsible with that fake, that fast bowler from Trinidad.
Oh, the embarrassment, Gabriel.
The embarrassment.
That's one of the sporting moments you never forget.
I never forgot that.
And this guy go for a big cool bat.
Cool bat.
That's one of the sporting moments.
I found that funnier, gentlemen, that Chase, he was dropped. There was no continuity with him. He has 2 test centuries.
Mm-hmm.
So I really can't understand that. I just cannot understand that.
And I always saw him as a good anchor in the middle, especially
yes,
anchor in the middle order there.
Of course,
yeah.
He has, So I just question this to me, gentlemen. Our problem with our selection, we have been very inconsistent. It is sad, very, very sad what's happened to West Indies cricket. It's in crisis right now. We're in serious crisis. We cannot draw. We cannot draw crowds as before. We played at home. We are playing to empty stadiums. I mean, it's just ridiculous, man. Something is not right, gentlemen.
Just tell them come to play in Dominica. Let's organize them to play in Dominica, and you'll see the crowd.
Yeah, but I agree with you. But the other people, not alone, but the other island people are fed up. People are fed up with what they're saying. All right.
Well, you look at history. People send kids. Grenada, they never big on cricket, but because they get the benefits. When there's a cricket game in the country, you've got 2 teams, and maybe each of the teams may have 20 plus players. Plus, you've got other person support staff, the commentators, the photographers, and everything. So that's big business.
But let's
Sports stories as a business, absolutely.
Sports stories, sir.
And just in case, let me just tell our listeners, Lobby, just very quickly, in case you're wondering, after 40 minutes of play, the score remains at 0-0, Dominica versus Barbados.
Okay. You see, gentlemen, I'm telling you, look at us, gentlemen. We won the World Cup. When we won the World Cup, back-to-back, we had quality players. We won the T20 back-to-back. Look at the caliber of players we had. Look at what we have right now. Let us compare. Look at what we have right now. Huh? We are just all we are doing we just picking, dropping, picking, dropping, picking, dropping, picking, dropping. So there's no consistency.
Yeah, and Emmanuel, that I think is the problem of the West Indies. I think the lack of you have to give somebody an extended run, give them a chance, because cricket is funny. You can fail a few times and then you come back. If you've identified some core players, you keep them. You stick with them for a while, but don't discard them after one series. And that we are used to doing that, and that is what I think is impacting on the players themselves. But somebody can have a bad series, but the fact that you just get rid of them, I expected Afanaz to be in the West Indies, white ball team, given the quality of a player that he is.
Obviously.
And then just to discard players after a couple of outings is certainly not good at all. It's not good for the players, and it's not good for the West Indies team. And there's something needs to be done about this.
Because let's see how we go with the captaincy, and soon after that they've got to pick the team, because Australia will be coming to the Caribbean to play from June 25th to the 28th, and interestingly, the free test matches, Barbados, Grenada just did over the stadium. Grenada is getting a game. Jamaica is getting T20, and St. Kitts is getting T20s. What happened to Dominica? So we'll see the team selected. I just hope that when they select the team, they give our two guys a fair chance. Just the last test they played is against Pakistan in Pakistan, and we won. So please give them a fair chance. But in between, we need to work with those young fellas.
Yeah.
We need to work with Hodge. We need to work with Afanaz. And we didn't celebrate them when they were here some time ago, but we need to work with them, especially the mental component.
I agree, and also I agree that I expect to see both players on the West Indies team. I don't think that they've done in the scheme of things in terms of the other players that have played for West Indies over the past couple of series. I think they've done enough to earn their peak. They did not do particularly well this series, but again, you cannot just pick players on one series. Not because a player comes and scores 500 runs in one series that you just put him onto the team and do away with more seasoned players. That's not how it should be done. That player who scores the 500 runs or 600 runs should come and do it repeatedly 3-4 times before he walks onto the team. So I really hope that those two individuals, and I expect, quite frankly, both individuals to be on the West Indies team when it is announced.
But as I told, when they were on our program last year, I told both Hodge and Afanaz, when you get in the middle, gentlemen, remember where you all came from. Remember, you have to love to bat. You don't throw your hands.
Yeah.
Don't throw your hands. You have to stay no matter what happened. All right? You have to stay there. No matter even if you score 100.
Even if you choke it, but you stay there.
Well, of course. You
occupy the grid. That's the main thing.
But when Chandapal, look, like Shandy, when Chandapal came in there, did Chandapal used to throw his hand? He loved to bat.
Yeah. Occupy the crease.
All right.
Stay there and wait for the bad ball.
They said when Haynes batting, he opened the batting, survived that first morning play. Really, while at lunch, Haynes in the net, Really, Chandapal is same thing. Chandapal, he on his sling or in the nets. You guys, they want to bat. They want to hold that hand. You have to love to bat. You have to love to bat. That's the game. I remember, Sibo in particular. You can imagine about Sebastian. Wherever Sebastian found a knock, wherever cricket was being played, Sebastian would be there batting because he loves to bat. And Sibo wouldn't throw his hand like that. He loves the middle. He loves to be there. You have to love to bat. You don't throw your hands.
What's a typical thing? When we had the Celtic team and Sibo was one of the senior players together with Abu and Kentish.
I know.
We had 2 concrete wickets in Porterville. And we used to train from Monday to Thursday.
I know. I remember that. Porters, and you had good fast ball. You had good team,
And we trained from Monday to Thursday.
And
They- they-
Landa,
wow.
you
They don't
you had
tackle.
quality bowlers too, you know. You had good bowlers, you know. You had good bowlers, you know, to face, not mediocre. The team was solid, you know. Yeah, that's the problem.
Yes, and talking about quality of players, I don't know if you guys realize, but in the breakout team, 2 players were called for choking. Eh?
Yeah.
2
Right.
players were actually suspended. 2 fast bowlers, one from Guyana, Rainforest, Quentin Sampson, and the other from Trinidad.
Interestingly, they have one with a stone in his hand. A picture of him with a stone in his hand.
Yeah,
It's
I found
unfortunate.
it unfortunate and interesting as well. You know that is the young men just starting off their careers. You know that was found, and you know, I'm not sure how to interpret that.
But we've got a young medium pacer, slow medium from Dominica, Kyron Phillip, and he looks all right. If he gets the coaching assistance and the bodies look fit, if he gets the coaching assistance to continue strengthening himself and focusing the mental preparation, the psychological treatment, I think he's a guy for the future. Have any of you seen him bowl? Kyron Phillip?
He played. You know, I didn't realize he was from Dominica.
Yeah, he's a Dominican.
Yes.
Yeah. And he takes wickets.
Yes.
Each of the game he has taken a
I was
wicket.
trying to pull up
The
his-
unfortunate thing, because in inexperience, he bowls a couple loose balls.
Yes, he only bowled 1 over in the last game, in the game against Leewards. That game last night, he only bowled 1 over for 12 runs. But in the game before that, he did get a couple of wickets. So that's good. I was glad to see, but I did not realize that he was
He's
was
a Dominican,
from
Kyron Phillip. But I think I firmly believe that Tyson would have strengthened that bowling attack. Because the way the guy bowled in the competition, the regional competition, even when we was losing, you listen to the commentators and you looked at the way he was bowling, and guys were speaking very highly of him.
But Landa, one thing I would love to know, this win-what team. You have, first of all, you have to look at home. It's a win-what team. Dominica, St. Lucius, and Vincent Grenada. You're looking for, it's for young players. And you cannot have a young players playing in the 4-day cricket. They're available and they're not being picked. I want to know, somebody like to ask me, how they went about selecting the team. Who are your lobbyists? What input the association here, what we had here? When they got the team, for example, the team was released, sent to the Dominic Association. My prime will say, hello, what happened? This guy, what happened? Was questions asked? Now I want to know who the lobbyists, what was done? What was done?
Yeah, and somebody was suggesting instead of all the time encroaching on the Windward's team. We already have 4 islands to choose from, and they still find place for Bajans and so on to play.
That's ridiculous.
Why not just form another combined team of all those other players? So those from Trinidad, Jamaica, who are not on their national teams, put them together, rather than take the places of up and coming, young players in the Windward Islands.
Something is wrong. Something is wrong. Something is wrong in the island. Something is wrong somewhere. Because there's no way I'm involved there in that administration. Nothing happening. You'd have to hear my voice. It's one thing. People have to silence.
It's not clear. Yeah, I know Barbados has a lot of talent, but at the same time,
when you say talent, I like to say when you say talent, there's talent all over. All right. How many big batsmen, how many scorers you have? These guys they brought in there. What's the average like? All of them, to me, they're all the same. Because we're looking at our T20 now, that team going to England, Ireland. Let us face it. Who are the dashing players we have there? The big hitters we have there? Who we have there?
That's the 50 overs there. I'm Low Black.
Yeah, who we have there? How consistent? Who we have there? We have been consistently inconsistent. We are just all we have is headache.
They played fairly well against Bangladesh and also England in the Caribbean. Yeah.
Yes.
We're looking for consistency.
Yes, Emmanuel, we have a caller. Caller, yes. Good evening.
Yes.
Go ahead,
Yes,
please.
you hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
I haven't heard you all speak of Mario Shepherd, he broke records this week in the IPL.
Oh yes, yeah, we have
You
not
know, he
spoken
scored
about the
about,
IPL.
Yeah, we have no chance
I
to speak
think
about
he
the
scored
IPL.
50
Yeah,
something runs in
yeah, yeah, yeah,
12
yeah.
balls, the fucking balls,
Yes, He had a good
6
knock.
sixes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. We didn't have a chance to speak about the IPL. But Babs, one of the most disappointing things about the IPL is the amount of West Indies that are now playing, and that is very discouraging.
It's discouraging, but
Yeah,
also,
discouraging.
also at the same time, in terms of the most valuable player, we have in the top three, we have two West Indians in the most valuable player. You have Narayan and gosh,
The other Trinidad.
yes. Well, his name just for some reason his name just disappeared now. Puran. Yes, you have those two. I mean, Puran and Narayan are in the top three in terms of contenders for the most valuable players. So in the
Yeah.
midst of all of that talent we see in the IPL, you still have West Indian players who are outstanding there.
Yes. We are coming to the end of the program, which seems to be getting very close to 8 o'clock. So let me thank you very much, Emmanuel Loblack, for your contribution, Thompson Fontaine. I hope next week that Lockhart Sebastian can be there. I also want to thank Pastor Rodney for his contribution, the prayer up front, and we want to maintain that. Eddie Lawrence for his contribution, and also Donnie Robinson. Thank you very much.
I'm going to
Thank
follow
you
the
very much,
football.
everybody. Thank you very much, listeners. And we'll see you next Thursday at the same time, same place.
Okay.
Thank you very much, everybody.